Hello everybody, my name's Isaiah and today we're going to be looking at Lee Greer. Now Lee Greer, he's a great predator and it feels strange saying someone's a great fucking predator, but in terms of comedic value he gives, he is a absolute great predator. I mean, he's not a great person, but in terms of TCAP, he's a great predator and I haven't done a analysis of him yet, but we'll get it started here. And straight off the bat, you can see he's. If you look at yourself in your mirror and you look anything like this, like a bald Shrek with tits, a girl's not going to be wanting to go for you, and it's just so obvious at first glance that it would have to be a sting because a chick wouldn't want you. Not only would a chick your age, unless she knows you and like she knows your personality well, a chick's not going to go for you just based off your looks. And what you think a 12-year-old, 13-year-old girl is going to find charisma, is going to find, character in a person? Not necessarily. Like, they're going to be looking at looks more. 12-year-olds haven't developed that sort of complexity and deep thinking. Their amygdala hasn't developed that much. So, but look at him, like, you got to be joking if you think a 12-year-old is going to go for you. Her first sexual experience, like, it's an absolute joke.
It's Lee Greer, 74, our 1 o'clock.
And you can see Dell there. She is getting pumped. And I think Dell has not a vested interest, but she gets enthusiastic over the stings, which is absolutely great because you need people who, get some sort of satisfaction from doing their job. You don't want people who don't enjoy their job, who don't enjoy doing this, don't enjoy doing that. Dell gets really into it, and that's good. And you can see they caught 300 to 400 people because they had someone at the head of the operation who was enthusiastic. And look at her. And she probably hated Lee Greer from his chat log. Because sometimes you never really see Dell get a reaction like that. But have a look at her here.
It's Lee Greer.
It's Lee Greer. It's Lee Greer. She is absolutely pumped about the fact that he's coming in. So it's pretty interesting. He must have had some sort of sick chat log, or he must have said something that, pissed her off. But have a look at that bald piece of shit. There's nothing wrong with being bald, but Lee Greer is a fucking piece of shit. Like, look at him. He is very overweight there. He reminds me of Homer Simpson in that episode of The Simpsons when he wears that muumuu. When Homer becomes like morbidly obese. That's what he reminds me of in that bit.
Lee Greer, 74, our 1 o'clock. Now, here comes another married man. He's 31-year-old Lee Greer, screen name Lee Greer 74.
I'm guessing he was born in 1974. That photo, it's not a bad photo of him. Like, it looks like he has some sort of genetic abnormality, but aside from that, like, he's taken a smart portrait of himself to send to the female. He's not showing his body, which is one of the key factors for someone who's kind of overweight and are trying to allure or attract someone. You sort of don't really want to show them that you're overweight. You want to take a good photo of yourself, and he's done that kind of. I maybe wouldn't have gone the singlet, but that's the photo he's chosen. Yeah, he reminds me of someone. I don't know what. I should have thought about this more before I did the video. It's going to kill me because I'll figure out what he looks like afterwards. But he looks like some sort of evil character from a show. I can't think. It's going to kill me.
4. He's away from home on business, and he's been chatting online with a 13-year-old. At least that's what the decoy told him. He sends her a picture of his penis and then types, "You will get to see the real thing, in person."
Oh my god. So sending pictures of his penis, that's straight away, that's a felony. He's gone for that. Let's have a look at him. He's got a wife and everything, and he's gambling all that just for a sexual experience. I mean, like, sex is good. I know sex is good, but like, you got to be so fucking desperate to risk everything, your family, your life, because you'll be going to jail. He's risking everything just for a bit of pussy. Now, I always say this, just go and have a fucking wank. Like, just fucking have a wank, man. Like, that's all you need to do. And then all the hormones will be secreted less. I don't know, sex hormones, testosterone will decrease. You'll just, you'll not be as horny. You'll sign off. You won't do it. But, he's just, you reach a point in your life where you want some excitement. And I think Lee Greer experienced that, and he wanted something different. And I mean, if you look at Lee, can you imagine what his wife probably looks like? Fucking hell. Imagine his fucking children. Did he have children? Who knows?
He's on the back door, his porch, opening the door. He's supposed to be bringing lunch and booze.
Hey, come on in! Dell is awesome. I absolutely love Dell. I was looking her up not recently, actually, and quite recently, and she was actually in she's working for Twitter now or something. I noticed. Like, I was completely oblivious to this, but yeah, she's working for Twitter, I think, and she's grown her hair long. She looks really different, and I'm happy for her because, she did a good thing. Like, despite what people say about perverted justice being corrupt, fucking hell, at the end of the day, they caught bad people. People who have the capability of molesting, maybe not forcefully raping and molesting a child, but at least manipulating and grooming a child, and like, I commend that. Definitely commend that. But yeah, she did some TED Talks, I think, and she talked about, trolling on Twitter and how it's inevitable. It's pretty interesting, and, I'm happy for her.
Perverted justice decoys will ask a man to bring something specific, like food or alcohol. Ask if he brought the lunch and booze.
Did you bring the food?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Law enforcement said...
Fucking McDonald's, man. That's so typical. It's such a reflection of himself. Like, he's bringing food, and the food, given that you are what you eat, is him. Like, he is fucking McDonald's. When I see him, he could be the poster boy for McDonald's. Like, I'm not trying to, like, abuse him or make him feel really... Well, I am trying to make him seem bad. Like, I'm trying to put him down, but I'm not going out of my way to put him down here. He actually reminds me of McDonald's, this fucking guy. Like, it might be because he brought McDonald's, but whenever I go to McDonald's nowadays, like, I actually think of Lee Greer sometimes. And when I have cold fries, like, if I have shit fries, if I go out of town or something and, late, sometimes the late staff don't, the midnight staff on at McDonald's don't put in as much effort. They put in minimum effort. And I get cold fries, and I just think of Lee Greer, and I just think to myself, fries might be cold. And it's just, TCAPism can sometimes be a disease, but it's a bit of a good disease.
As it helps show intent, because a potential predator is bringing items that he talked about online in the same conversation he's talking about sex.
What did you bring?
Double cheeseburgers with no pickles.
I made chocolate chip cookies too.
That chick, is she over 18 or under 18? She looks like she's about 12. Like, legitimately, she looks under 12. Like, she's really young. I wonder if she's older than 18 though. Because I know Casey looked, 16-ish. Casey Monroe, but, she was 19 or something. But this chick doesn't look like she's anywhere near 18. Can they do that? Can they put in a decoy who's actually underage? I don't think they can. They can't endanger a child like that.
But I actually just got some on my shirt, so I'm just going to change my shirt real quick.
Alright, I got some fries, but the fries might be cold. It took me a little bowl of finest place.
You can just take a seat.
Have a look at this this pathetic loser. And that McDonald's, man, like, when you have a date or when you're going to meet someone, like, coming in knee-long or shin-long jeans, a disgusting tight shirt, and bringing McDonald's. It's just so many disgusting factors blended into this gross thing, which is Lee Greer. Like, it's just, I'm just so unattracted by this. Like, I'm not gay, so I wouldn't be attracted to men anyway, but I'm trying to put myself in a woman's position, and it's just so unattractive. And he'd have to know, like, I still don't understand how these predators don't understand that chicks aren't going to go for them. It's the first hint that this chick's sexually attracted to you. Like Lorne Armstrong showing pictures of his hairy fucking ass, and the chick's liking it. That's a blatant sign that it's a setup. Great.
I'll be right there.
Okay. So no cookies for you?
There it is. Poor Lee. And that's it. He comes out, no cookies for you, and just shakes his head. And it's very similar to Donald Morrison. I actually thought Lee and Donald were the same thing, same person for a while, and then I realized, no, different people. But that's the face of someone who knows they have fucked up. And he's fucked up big time. Like, on the plus side, he'll lose weight. On the plus side, if he goes to jail, like, I don't know if he went to jail. I'm assuming he did. I don't know how long for, but let's just say he went to jail for a few years. It could save his life. Like, he would lose a lot of weight. He'd probably start working out because you have nothing else to do. So in turn, he loses a few years in jail, but he'd probably gain like 5 years of life. So, you probably gain more. I mean, aside from being a registered sex offender for your entire life, but you know what I mean?
Not much. Who are you?
Who are you?
Lee.
And Lee, what are you doing?
He's saying that like he expects Chris to know. Like, have a look at this response. It's Lee. Like, how would Chris know who you are?
Lee.
And Lee.
But I think it's a bit of, he's absolutely shitting his pants as well.
What are you doing here?
Come to visit a friend off the net, I thought.
At first, he tells me the friend he came to see was 18 or older, but then changes his story. So why don't you start over again and tell me how old?
So they cut that whole part out. So yeah, he's done the same old, 18. I mean, you got to have a go. I mean, you can't just sit there and say she was 13. Like, he's trying to lie, but it's inevitable. He's going to get caught out with the chat log, but he doesn't know that. So he starts again, and he must tell now that she's actually 13.
In the conversation.
13.
How old are you?
Too old. 31.
31.
Oh, 31? Did I hear that right? There's no way he's...
How old are you?
Too old. 31.
31! He looks so much older than 31. In my opinion, he looks fucking old as, man. 31, he looks like that. Oh, if I look like that when I'm 31, oh, man, I swear I'll do some bad things. 13 reasons why I'll do something bad to myself. I look like. No, but seriously, like, oh, I thought he was like 40. Surprising. But look at his eyes, like the sorrow in his eyes. He's very upset. He's very sad. And, he just made a bad decision. And unfortunately, Lee, it's going to cost you your life. Yeah, I mean, you're not being executed, but you might as well. Like, your life's done. There's no way to come back.
And you thought it was okay for a 31-year-old man to come to a home where a 13-year-old girl was alone because why exactly?
I didn't.
Then why did you do it?
Stupidity. Honestly. I was...
Oh, I don't know if he cries, but he's close. He's very close to crying.
Pure stupidity.
You sent her that...
I love how there's fruit there. It's like such a contrast here on the table. You've got healthy fruit, cookies, and McDonald's. And I bet you to God, Lee went nowhere near the fruit. He just taken the cookies, eating the cookies. I'd be interested to see if Lee has ever eaten fruit, because it's actually a surprising thing, like a surprising factor that a lot of people don't eat fruit. Like, and he might not eat fruit. He might have never had fruit for maybe 10 years, this guy. And it could be a contributing factor to obviously his obesity. He is obese, maybe even other factors such as, hair loss. So he's eating cookies and McDonald's all day, but really he should be eating apple a day. That's me.
Picture.
Yes, right. And I told her they were dirty pictures, and she wanted to see them, so I showed them.
So, because a 13-year-old girl says it's okay for you to do it.
No, it's not.
Yeah, Chris always comes out with that line, and it's such a smart line on Chris's behalf, because you admit straight away the predator can't say that it's right if a 13-year-old says it is. I mean, it's not right. If a 13-year-old wants to do it, you can't just go with it. And I think that's when the predator will start to realize that they're in the wrong now. They're doing the wrong thing.
No, sir.
Are you married?
Yes, sir.
How's this going to go over at home?
Not good. I had really, really, really like for it not to go home.
Oh, poor Lee. You can hear in his voice there's a little murmur at the back of his throat. He is absolutely shitting himself. He doesn't want that to happen. And, it's just like Safraz Khan, that Indian predator. He doesn't want his parents to find out. That is the main concern for predators, I think. Like, for me, if I was going, like, I wouldn't even be thinking of jail at that point. I'd be thinking of my loved ones. Because at the end of the day, what your loved ones think of you are the main cause, the main thing that keeps you going. If your loved ones hate you, despise you, what else is there for you? There's nothing. So, Lee, he's hoping to God his wife's not going to find out, but she's going to find out, and that's really the arrow through the heart, in my opinion. Jail is also terrible. Like, obviously, you're confined to a cage. You're put on this planet out of billions and trillions of sperm that are ejaculated per day, probably. The one time your father didn't come into a tissue, the one time he actually, had sex, you were that one sperm that was in that position when your dad had sex, and then that one sperm fertilized the egg. All this effort, all this work, you get to Earth, you're born, and you spend, 6 years in a fucking cage. Like, come on. That would eat me alive, because being on Earth, you're so lucky to be here. Like, the chances of you being here is like, I heard this said by, I think it was Andrew Burkett, but maybe it was Andrew, I don't know, but it's almost like exploding a library, like just blowing up a random library somewhere in town, in the city, and then every page of the Bible falls onto each other in the same order, even though the book was blown to smithereens. Like, it's just, the chances are so unlikely, and you're wasting it in jail. That's gotta hurt.
Really, sir?
What do you think should happen to you, Lee?
Honestly, I'd like to be able to just go back to work.
Just go back to work and walk.
He just wants to go back to work. A lot of predators do ask that. They just say, can it be forgotten? It's my first time. It's not going to happen again. There's a first time for everything. And if they weren't here, it was going to be, a sexual experience with a minor. And I'm sorry, Lee, but you're not allowed to go home. You can go to your new home, which is jail. That's your new home.
Get up and grab a cookie and walk on out of here.
I'm not saying
grab a cookie and walk on out of here.
what I've done was right, because I know it's wrong. I'm admitting to you that it is wrong.
So we're all square, even Steven, and you should just get up and walk out.
I don't.
Imagine if society worked like that. You just admit you're wrong and you can go. The funny thing about that, though, Lorne Armstrong, I know I always bring up Lorne Armstrong, but he's never admitted he's wrong, technically, so he would still be in jail, probably.
I don't know what to tell you, honestly.
Well, there's a few things that you need to know. As we told you before, he won't get off that easy. Everything that you've done since you pulled up here has been recorded on camera.
Oh, Lord. She's the first
Oh, Lord.
person I ever considered meeting. There's some in the car.
Just happened to be some in the glove box.
No, I always have condoms anywhere I go. The person would have to be an idiot not to because of diseases.
Because of diseases. See, the thing about that is he does have a logical point. You never know when a sexual experience might occur. So the thing is, though, he's married, so like you can just have him at home. You don't need to have him in the car with you. But let's just say he's single for argument's sake. It's pretty important to just have a condom on you because, if you might go out, you might meet a lady and she might, talk to you and say, hey, do you want to come back to mine? And I mean, that's very unlikely, but, it depends who you are, but most of the time it doesn't occur that easily, but yeah, it's good to have condoms on you. I do understand that, but you're meeting a minor, dude. You don't take them then. I would honestly, if I was a predator, you know what predators should have done, man? They should have not taken condoms, right? They should have got there when it's all clear and they found out it wasn't a sting, then go buy condoms, then come back. This is pretty dodgy on my behalf because I'm giving advice to fucking pedophiles, but no, I wouldn't have done that, but let's just say for argument's sake, I was Lee Greer, that's what you would do. But, and then if it was a sting, you don't have any condoms on you, so I guess it shows less intent, but still bad.
As the men leave our house, police work quickly and sometimes aggressively, taking the suspects down to the ground.
Ooh.
That's because in Florida,
I feel like is that a cheek?
It's relatively easy.
Oh no, it's Michael Willis. What was I saying? I feel like that's excessive force. I mean, it's great that they're tackling these pedos down to the ground, and I'm not complaining about it. Great, tackle him. I hope he falls and splits his head open. But in all honesty, what are these guys going to do? You do have to be careful though, because you never know what someone's going to do. They could pull out a knife, pull out a gun. They know they're going to jail. They know their life's ruined. Why not just blast away a police officer? One final hurrah before you go out. It could happen.
Get a permit to carry a concealed weapon. So these officers aren't taking any chances. Anybody get hurt in the takedowns?
Oh, I didn't play it. So yeah, obviously Lee says there, "Oh Lord, oh Lord," but it's just great, absolutely great. Oh, I'm sorry I missed out on it though.
24 people and no one was injured. All the officers are safe.
See, that's the main thing. You don't want your officers to not be safe. Safety is key, and if a little bit of excessive force is required, it might, and it saves a policeman's life. I mean, what's the deal then? A little few bruises here and there, a few cuts here and there, and that's it. But have this piece of trash. He's like a conehead / Shrek, like a white conehead Shrek. That's what he looks like. And look, his poor shoulder, man. This guy doesn't do any stretches. He just sits around eating Macs all day. And they're pulling his shoulder right behind his back, bending it around. It's absolutely classic.
Oh, Lord. As a man is...
There it is. Oh, Lord.
Being arrested, an unmarked police vehicle moves into position.
Fuck.
The suspect is put into a car and taken to a transfer station. This is the married man, Lee Greer, who hoped his wife would never know that he showed up for a date with a girl who told him she was 13. How's this going to go over at home?
I'd really, really, really like for it not to go home. Oh my God.
And if you have a look at this, I think I know who he reminds me of now. Right here. First I wanted to say his legs are really skinny. Compared to his upper body and his belly and his forearms. His forearms are thicker than his legs, man. Look at that. But he reminds me of here. What's his name? Sloth. Sloth from fucking Goonies. That's what he reminds me of him slightly here.
Oh my God.
Right there. Right there. There's Sloth. Hey, you guys. He looks like Sloth there. Fuck.
You got it. We're from Arkansas. Arkansas? You're on vacation with him? No, I'm down here working.
His picture is taken.
Thank you.
And when the police search his rental car, they start collecting evidence.
Ooh.
He's supposed to bring
Loose
condoms,
condoms.
booze, and lunch.
I'm pretty sure it's finished there. I'm pretty sure there's a bit that was missed out about him bringing a sleepover bag, and he talks about, how he always brings 2 pairs of pants because he keeps one clean and one dirty, something stupid like that. But no, this wasn't the full Lee Greer TCAP video, but oh well. Anyway, guys, I'm currently about to do a live stream, so you guys will be watching this in the future, so probably would have already happened, but I'm going to get that set up now, and hopefully some people can give me a chat, give me something interesting to talk about. We're going to look over the Holy Pornography, of course, the Holy Bible itself. All right, till next time, boys. See ya.